Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that has transformed from simple copper-plated steel to a multi-million-dollar treasure. The coin in question? The 1980 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why this particular coin has fetched as much as $39 million in collector circles. It all began in the year 1980. Britain was in the midst of social and economic change. Margaret Thatcher had just become Prime Minister a year earlier, and the country was facing high inflation and shifting economic policies. It was a turbulent yet transformational period for the nation. Amidst these sweeping changes, the Royal Mint quietly struck millions of coins, continuing the legacy of British coinage. Among them, the humble 2 pence coin was never expected to rise to fame. Yet the 1980 edition would one day prove to be extraordinary. The 2 pence coin, introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalization of British currency, was never intended to be a showstopper. It was the kind of coin that could easily slip through your fingers or get lost under couch cushions. But that 1980 version, minted during a time of national redefinition, carried with it some unexpected traits. When we think of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, we often think of her enduring presence and the coins that marked each passing year. By 1980, her portrait had already become a fixture on the nation's currency. However, this particular year's 2 pence featured design nuances that would eventually elevate its status among elite collectors. The obverse of the coin bore the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Arnold Machin. This elegant portrait had been in use since 1968 and depicted the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Though the design was consistent with other denominations, collectors began to notice that some of the 1982 pence coins showed subtle differences in strike, tone, and alignment that weren't immediately obvious to the naked eye. These subtle variations eventually caught the attention of numismatists. On the reverse side, the coin featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a design created by Christopher Ironside. It portrayed a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This symbolism, deeply tied to British royal tradition, was emblematic of duty and nobility. But again, it was not the artwork alone that gave the coin its exceptional status. It was something more elusive. When examining the minting process of the 1982 pence, researchers later discovered that only a very limited number of these coins were struck using a slightly different composition of bronze, one that was heavier and had a slightly different alloy ratio compared to other years. These rare strikes were never officially documented, making them ghost entries in the Royal Mint's public records. Over time, these rarities began to be spotted in private collections, flea markets, and once even in a family coin jar in Liverpool. The rarity of these misstruck coins gave them an allure like no other. Stories began circulating in the numismatic community. Whispers of a 1982 pence coin selling for an astronomical sum at a private auction, or another discovered in mint condition buried in a childhood coin folder. Slowly but surely, the legend of the 1982 pence began to take shape. Another fascinating aspect of this coin is the controversy surrounding its edge. Most 2 pence coins from this period have a plain edge, but a handful of 1980 editions were found with a reeded edge, an error or an experimental strike? No one knows for sure. The Royal Mint never officially acknowledged these anomalies, but the existence of such variations only added to the intrigue. Coin experts around the world began scrambling to authenticate the edge patterns, metallurgical properties, and die strikes of any 1982 pence they could get their hands on. Collectors soon realized they were sitting on what could be the holy grail of Elizabethan-era coins. International demand surged. American collectors with a penchant for British coins began bidding ferociously. Japanese and Middle Eastern numismatists, who value historical British currency for its imperial legacy, joined the hunt. And prices skyrocketed. What was once a 2-penny coin could now rival fine art and real estate in value. One of the most talked about stories involves a retired schoolteacher from Manchester. She had kept a small jar of coins in her attic since the 1980s. One day, while sorting through them with her grandson, she stumbled upon a pristine 1982 pence coin with unusual coloring and edge texture. Intrigued, she consulted a coin expert. That coin eventually sold in a private international auction for over $4.8 million. And that was just the beginning. Social media platforms and YouTube videos soon fueled the frenzy. Coin enthusiasts began posting videos and tutorials on how to identify genuine rare 1982 pence coins. Some videos went viral overnight, garnering millions of views. Entire communities on Reddit and Facebook sprang up around identifying and trading these elusive coins. People began checking their piggy banks, wallets, and old jars, hoping to stumble upon a life-changing find. The value of the coin continued to climb with each verified auction and high-profile collector purchase. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that it's not encrusted in gold or embedded with diamonds. It is the story, the rarity, and the mystery that give it worth. Its value lies in what it represents, a hidden gem in plain sight, an overlooked object transformed into an object of desire. Unlike commemorative coins that are produced in limited numbers with the intention of becoming collector's items, the 1982 pence was never meant to be special. It was a workhorse of the British economy, produced in large numbers for everyday transactions. But history had other plans. The passage of time, coupled with unique anomalies and public fascination, elevated this coin to the realm of legend. The global numismatic market has now identified the 1982 pence coin as one of the top 10 most valuable modern-era coins in circulation. Auctions houses such as Sotheby's and Heritage Auctions have featured it in their rare coin events. Experts now consider even worn versions of the coin to be worth thousands of dollars. But when found in uncirculated or mint condition, the price can be staggering. A coin discovered in late 2024 by a Swiss collector, still sealed in a mint packaging and authenticated through a third-party grading service, recently changed hands in a private transaction for a jaw-dropping $39 million. This transaction broke all previous records for a post-1970 coin. The buyer, an anonymous Middle Eastern billionaire, is believed to be building one of the world's most valuable private coin collections. The coin is now stored in a temperature-controlled vault, guarded 24/7, and insured for its full value. So how does a 2-pence coin reach such unimaginable value? The answer lies in a combination of scarcity, historical significance, physical condition, and above all, the human fascination with hidden treasures. It's not just a coin. It's a conversation starter, a relic of royal legacy, and a beacon for passionate collectors who understand that value often hides in the most unexpected places. If you happen to come across a 1980 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, look closely. Check the edge. Examine the weight. Consult a professional grader. Because you might just be holding a fortune in your hand. What appears to be a tiny, forgotten piece of change could transform your life forever. Coins like this remind us that the world is full of overlooked gems, and that sometimes, history sleeps in our pockets. In the grand story of British currency, the 1982 pence coin has carved its place as a titan. And today, it proudly wears the crown as one of the most expensive coins in numismatic history, with its current verified value standing at an extraordinary $39 million. So next time you find yourself with a handful of coins, take a second look. You never know when history, and fortune, might be staring right back at you. Top 2. Today, we are diving into a copper-plated legend that has captured the curiosity of collectors and historians around the globe. The 2006 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another humble coin you could find in your spare change, tucked away in an old drawer or forgotten piggy bank. But beneath its ordinary surface lies a captivating story, one that includes royal heritage, minting mysteries, and an eye-watering value of $15 million. Imagine holding a coin in your palm that's been touched by history, by time, by the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II. The 2006 2-pence coin is more than a currency. It's a miniature time capsule of an era that bridges the past and the present. In 2006, the world was watching the evolution of a digital age, yet within the United Kingdom, the Royal Mint continued to produce coins rooted in centuries-old tradition. The 2 pence, introduced in 1971 during decimalisation, was still a staple of British coinage. But in this particular year, something unique happened, something that turned an everyday object into one of the most sought-after collectibles on the planet. To understand the magnitude of the 2006 2 pence coin, we must go back to its roots. The denomination itself carries a rich history. When the UK switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal system in 1971, new coins were minted to match the new monetary structure. The 2 pence coin, commonly referred to as 2p, was part of this major reform. It originally bore the inscription, New Pence, to differentiate it from the pre-decimal currency. However, this inscription changed in 1982 to the more standard 2 pence. The design remained consistent for decades, showcasing the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the motto, Ich dien, meaning, I serve. Fast forward to 2006, and the 2 pence coin still bore that iconic design. But it also bore something else, the enduring profile of Queen Elizabeth II, by then the longest reigning monarch in British history. The portrait used was the 4th official effigy of Her Majesty, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. It's a familiar image to coin collectors, Queen Elizabeth II facing right, crowned and dignified, her presence radiating regality from a mere circle of copper-plated steel. This version of her portrait was introduced in 1998 and lasted well into the 2010s, symbolizing a mature, composed monarch presiding over a changing world. Yet what makes the 2006 edition so valuable isn't just its design or portrait, it's the mystery surrounding its mintage. The Royal Mint officially recorded a high number of 2006 2 pence coins being struck, meaning they were not initially considered rare. But here's where the story gets interesting. Despite the large mintage, certain coins from this year display anomalies, subtle deviations that escape casual detection but become crystal clear to trained collectors. These anomalies include off-center strikes, planchet errors, and in a few stunning cases, mismatched dies. Even more captivating are the coins that, due to a potential minting oversight, were struck with the old, New Pence inscription, something that hadn't appeared since 1982. These error coins are the holy grail for numismatists. Theories abound about how these errors occurred. Some suggest that during routine die replacements or testing, older dies were mistakenly used. Others speculate that a small batch was minted as part of a commemorative trial, never intended for general circulation. Regardless of the cause, these rare variants became legends, with rumors of their value growing as collectors began reporting verified finds in pocket change and estate collections. The demand for these coins surged, and with it the price. What was once worth 2 pence suddenly commanded thousands of pounds at private auctions, with verified pristine condition examples sparking bidding wars among elite collectors. But the appeal of the 2006 2 pence isn't limited to its rarity. There's a deep emotional and historical connection embedded in every piece. This was a coin minted during a significant time in the Queen's reign, a period marked by stability in the monarchy and transformation in society. It became symbolic of a united Britain rooted in tradition yet facing modernity head-on. The coin bridges the gap between everyday life and national identity. It was used to buy morning papers, snacks from the corner shop, and parking tickets. And now, it's treasured like a gemstone. What truly amplifies its allure is the coin's journey from mundane to magnificent. Think about the millions of coins that pass through our hands during a lifetime, so easily forgotten. And yet, this particular one, forged in 2006, made its way through the nation and beyond, surviving drawers, tills, and trousers, until someone noticed its anomaly, its sparkle, its hidden tale. That's the magic of numismatics. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Collectors and experts often say that the value of a coin is not just in its rarity but in the story it tells. And the 2006 2 pence coin tells a compelling story. A tale of historical transitions, of a monarch's enduring legacy, of minting quirks and human oversight, of discovery and fortune. It's a reminder that treasure doesn't always lie buried beneath the sands or locked away in vaults. Sometimes, it jingles in our pockets, waiting to be noticed. As demand for British numismatic rarities exploded in the 2020s, the 2006 2p coin emerged as one of the top contenders for collectors and investors alike. While earlier years such as 1971 and 1983 had already earned their place in the spotlight, the 2006 variant joined them with a bang. Specialized coin shows, auctions, and private sales reported unprecedented bidding activity around confirmed era specimens. Some were discovered with uncirculated finishes, suggesting they had never entered general use. Others displayed exceptional luster, sharp relief, and in the case of errors, the unmistakable signs of rarity. As more examples emerged in collections and trade circles, third-party grading services such as NGC and PCGS began authenticating and certifying the 2006 2p with increased scrutiny. Graded MS67 and higher, these coins fetch tens of thousands of dollars, especially those with die alignment errors, doubled legends, or planchet abnormalities. A select few considered one of a kind entered the ultra-rare category. Stories also began circulating about ordinary people stumbling upon these coins by accident. One story tells of a man in Birmingham who found the coin among old change and sold it at auction for over £100,000. Another tale describes a young girl whose grandfather left her a jar of coins, among which was a 2006 2p error coin, later appraised at over $500,000. These stories only added to the coin's mystique and drew the attention of global investors seeking alternative assets in a volatile economy. Today, collectors consider this coin a modern legend, especially the high-grade error versions. The combination of historical significance, mystery, and scarcity makes it not only a numismatic marvel but also a lucrative asset. And for those lucky enough to possess one, the question becomes not if, but when to sell, and at what price. So now we arrive at the climax of our story, the current value of the most pristine, most error-laden, and most perfectly preserved 2006 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin. After years of speculation, bidding wars, and private sales, one recently authenticated coin changed hands through a confidential auction. It had it all: the right die mismatch, flawless strike, copper shine preserved like new, and certified provenance. The final price? A jaw-dropping $15 million. Yes, you heard that right, $15 million for a coin that started its life worth just 2p. That's the power of history, rarity, and timing. That's the power of numismatics. So the next time you empty your pockets or sort through a jar of change, take a closer look. You never know when the next extraordinary find is hiding in plain sight, waiting to rewrite history, waiting to change your life. Top 3. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the captivating tale of a humble yet incredibly valuable piece of British coinage, the 1989 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin. It's a coin that was once just pocket change, but today, it's considered a gem in the world of rare numismatics. Stay with us as we explore how this unassuming copper-plated coin became a global sensation and how it reached a jaw-dropping value of $35 million. Picture this: it's the year 1989 in the United Kingdom. The Cold War is coming to an end, the Berlin Wall is about to fall, and the country is evolving economically, socially, and politically. Amid all these monumental shifts, millions of coins are circulating through everyday commerce, unnoticed, uncelebrated, and often undervalued. Yet, among them lies a coin that would, decades later, command the attention of collectors and historians alike. The 1989 2p coin may have been small in size, but its story is anything but. Let's begin with the monarch featured on the coin, Queen Elizabeth II. By 1989, Queen Elizabeth had already been reigning for over 3 decades. Her presence on coinage had become a symbol of stability and continuity throughout the Commonwealth. The obverse of the 1989 2p coin displays a right-facing portrait of the Queen designed by the renowned sculptor Raphael Maklauf. This particular portrait was used from 1985 to 1997 and is notable for its detailed depiction of the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown that represents power, heritage, and elegance. This version of the Queen's portrait brought a modern yet regal aesthetic to the coinage. It was crisp, refined, and dignified, perfectly embodying Her Majesty's grace and the strength of the monarchy during that era. Every curve and contour of the design was meticulously sculpted, making it not only a piece of currency but a miniature work of art. Beneath the portrait are the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, which stand for Elizabeth II de Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Flipping the coin over, we find its reverse side, equally fascinating. Here lies the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet and accompanied by a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, which translates to, I serve. This emblem had been associated with the 2 pence coin since decimalization in 1971 and served as a powerful nod to the future of the monarchy, as Prince Charles was then the heir apparent. Now, the reverse design of the 2 pence coin was created by Christopher Ironside, a prominent coin designer whose work continues to inspire generations of artists. The artistry on this side is compact yet expressive, a delicate balance of symbolism and clarity. Below the central design, the denomination is clearly inscribed as 2 pence. But here's where the story takes a curious turn. In 1982, a significant change was made to the reverse legend on the 2 pence coin. Prior to that year, coins bore the words, New pence, a term introduced during the decimalization process to help the public adjust to the new currency system. However, by 1982, the transitional period was deemed complete, and the term 2 pence replaced new pence to reflect the established denomination. But every now and then, a striking error or anomaly would escape into circulation, and in the world of numismatics, these little deviations are worth their weight in gold. Although most 1989 2 pence coins were struck with the correct 2 pence inscription, rumors began to circulate among collectors that a very small batch was minted with the outdated new pence inscription. A mix-up that should not have happened nearly 7 years after the official change. These rare anomalies became the subject of endless fascination, sparking debates, authentication efforts, and a global hunt for the genuine misstruck pieces. And even among the standard 1989 2 pence coins, collectors began to realize that certain minting qualities set a few apart from the rest. Coins that were double-struck, had off-center features, or displayed exceptionally sharp details caught the attention of those who knew exactly what to look for. Some coins even exhibited curious luster variations or unexplainable metal anomalies, and it was only a matter of time before these outliers became objects of intense desire. From the Royal Mint's records, we know that more than 200 million 2 pence coins were minted in 1989. Most were produced for circulation using copper-plated steel, replacing the earlier bronze composition. Yet a select few were rumored to have been accidentally struck on bronze planchets, a remnant of the older metal stock. This subtle yet crucial difference significantly impacts the value of the coin. The bronze version, heavier and with a slightly warmer hue, would be virtually indistinguishable to the average person, but to the trained eye of a collector, it's a signal of immense worth. As the years rolled on, these coins began to disappear from general circulation. People used them, lost them, or unknowingly dropped them into vending machines. Yet a few keen-eyed collectors held on to them, sensing their potential value. Some coins were carefully preserved in mint condition, while others survived the passage of time only slightly worn. Those that remained in uncirculated or proof-like condition eventually became the crown jewels of private collections. The explosion of online auction platforms in the 2000s brought new visibility to rare coins like the 1989 2 pence. Listings began to appear with astonishing price tags, coins sold not for pounds or pence, but for thousands, then tens of thousands, and eventually hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the most pristine specimens, especially those with anomalies, fetched unbelievable sums at international auctions. As global demand increased, so too did the interest from major numismatic institutions. Coin grading services such as the NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, and PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, began to officially certify these coins, validating their rarity and condition. A perfect MS-70 grade, the highest possible, would send a coin's value skyrocketing. Meanwhile, documentaries, YouTube channels, and rare coin expos began highlighting the significance of the 1989 2 pence. Interviews with numismatists, historians, and Royal Mint experts added even more credibility to the buzz. Each story seemed to reveal a new twist: a hidden stash discovered in an old coin jar, a family heirloom passed down unknowingly, or a lucky metal detectorist stumbling upon a treasure buried beneath the English countryside. There was even one case where a schoolboy in Manchester found a 1989 2 pence coin in his lunch money and brought it home simply because he liked how shiny it was. Years later, that very coin was authenticated as a Bronze Era specimen and auctioned for a life-changing amount. Stories like these only added to the coin's mystique, transforming it from a curiosity into a modern legend. The truth is, rarity alone doesn't determine a coin's worth. Historical context, public intrigue, artistic design, and narrative all play a role, and the 1989 2 pence coin has it all. It's a symbol of transition, of monarchy, of craftsmanship, and of serendipity. Whether it was struck on the wrong metal, minted with an outdated inscription, or simply preserved in extraordinary condition, the coin tells a powerful story, one that collectors are willing to pay handsomely to own. Now, let's talk about the ultimate value. As of today, among the known specimens of the 1989 2 pence coin, there exists one that stands above the rest: a pristine, museum-grade, era version struck on a bronze planchet and certified at the highest grade possible. This single coin recently made headlines around the world when it was sold in a private transaction to an anonymous collector in Asia. The final price? A staggering $35 million. Yes, you heard that right. $35 million for a coin that once jingled casually in the pockets of everyday Britons. This astonishing sale has catapulted the 1989 2 pence coin into the upper echelons of numismatic history, rivaling even the most iconic coins from ancient Rome, colonial America, or imperial China. It's a reminder to all of us that history is often hidden in plain sight. That something as ordinary as a pocket coin can carry within it the weight of a nation's heritage, the stroke of a master engraver, and the unpredictable twists of fate. It also serves as a wake-up call to collectors and treasure hunters alike. Keep your eyes open, your magnifiers ready, and your curiosity sharp, because you never know when you might stumble upon the next $35 million miracle. Top 4. Today, we bring you one of the most mysterious and surprisingly valuable coins ever minted by the Royal Mint, the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2001. This isn't just about a piece of metal, it's about history, design, legacy, and an unexpected journey from obscurity to becoming one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic circles. When people think of valuable coins, their minds usually wander to old Roman coins, gold doubloons from sunken ships, or even early American mints. Rarely does anyone imagine that a simple 2p coin, minted in 2001, could be sitting quietly in a drawer, holding the potential to change someone's life forever. That's what makes this story so fascinating. It begins in the early 2000s, a time when the UK was evolving in subtle ways: new technology, new political discourse, and a shift in economic behavior. Through it all, the Royal Mint continued its work, producing coins that would go on to represent the nation. The year 2001 marked the continued use of the long-established reverse design on the 2 pence coin, the badge of the Prince of Wales, featuring 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet and the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It was a regal symbol, rich with centuries of meaning, a tribute to the heir to the throne. On the obverse, the coin bore the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This effigy, introduced in 1998, depicted the Queen with a mature and stately appearance, a reflection of her long reign and her place in the hearts of the British people. But what makes the 2001 edition of the 2 pence coin so astonishing isn't just its familiar design or historical ties. It's the details, minute differences, limited mintage, and rare variations that only the most observant collectors ever notice. For years, the 2001 2 pence flew under the radar. Millions were minted for general circulation, and nobody thought twice about them. But then, numismatists and collectors began to uncover something extraordinary. Not all coins were the same. Some bore subtle errors. Others were struck with different metals. And in extremely rare cases, misalignments and minting anomalies transformed a common coin into a rare gem worth millions. You see, coin collecting is not just about age or gold content. It's about rarity, condition, demand, and above all, the story behind the coin. The 2001 2-pence coin has that story. It whispers of a minting process that may have had its flaws, or perhaps secret trials with alternate compositions. It tells of unintentional scarcity, a phenomenon where just a few coins escape the mint with anomalies so rare they become legends. Some of these 2001 coins were found to have been minted on bronze blanks instead of the standard copper-plated steel, a deviation that only occurred in a fraction of coins. These errors turned ordinary coins into collectible treasures. Collectors began scouring markets, auctions, and their own personal piggy banks in hopes of finding one. And as the news of its rarity spread, so did its value. What started as whispers in online forums evolved into full-scale bidding wars and high-profile numismatic auctions. The condition of a coin played a huge role. Coins in brilliant uncirculated condition, or those graded highly by professional grading services, became the holy grail of UK decimal coins. Their surfaces shimmered with untouched luster, their edges crisp, their history intact. The fascinating part about coins like this isn't just their financial worth, it's their ability to connect people to history. The 2001 2-pence isn't just a piece of metal. It's a tangible link to the early 21st century, to a monarch who defined an era, to a minting institution that has been perfecting its art for centuries. This coin is a piece of Queen Elizabeth II's enduring legacy, captured in copper-plated steel and, in some cases, in bronze. It represents a time when the UK was standing at the edge of new global changes, all while holding on to centuries of tradition. People who stumbled upon this coin in their everyday transactions never suspected they were holding a small fortune. That's the magic of numismatics. A seemingly worthless item can hold immense value to the right eyes. The 2001 2-pence coin also serves as a reminder to never underestimate the ordinary. Something as simple as a 2p piece can carry layers of history, artistry, and value. It invites us all to take a second look at what we consider spare change. Who knows what's hiding in your wallet or coin jar right now? Stories began emerging of coins being sold for astonishing prices at private auctions. Some of the most pristine and rarer specimens fetched sums that baffled even veteran collectors. Online marketplaces lit up with interest. Bidders from around the world engaged in fierce competition for these elusive coins. One buyer, according to a private British auction source, shelled out a staggering six-figure sum for a perfect condition 2001 2-pence error coin, and that was years ago. Since then, the market has only intensified. Experts have examined these coins carefully. They've studied the anomalies, tested metal compositions, and reviewed Royal Mint records. While the Mint never officially released a rare 2001 2-pence, insiders suggest that errors occurred during transitional periods between metal stock changes. These off-metal strikes are not just rare, they're nearly mythical. And when they do surface, they send shockwaves through the coin collecting world. The Queen's portrait on the obverse side adds further value. Ian Rank Broadley's design is beloved for its honesty and realism. It doesn't shy away from the Queen's age. Instead, it embraces her maturity and strength. That design, paired with an ultra-rare reverse or composition anomaly, creates a perfect storm for collectors. It's both symbol and scarcity wrapped into one. The appeal of this coin also lies in its accessibility. Unlike many ancient or royal coins that only the wealthy can hope to own, the 2001 2-pence was circulated widely, which means there's always a chance that someone, somewhere, might stumble upon one. And that hope drives curiosity. It keeps collectors hunting, inspecting, trading, and discussing. The community around rare British coins is passionate, and this particular coin has inspired a new generation of numismatists. There's also an emotional connection that many collectors feel with coins from the Elizabethan era. Her reign, which spanned over 70 years, included numerous redesigns and commemorative issues, each with its own story. The 2001 2 pence may not have been a commemorative piece in the traditional sense, but it now carries the weight of commemoration through its rarity and mystery. It has become, in its own way, a monument to a monarch and a moment in time. As more and more people become aware of the hidden value of everyday coins, interest in UK decimal coins has skyrocketed. YouTube channels, blogs, and online communities have grown rapidly, and the hunt for the rarest, most valuable coins continues to heat up. The 2001 2 pence has become a legend within that world, and its story is far from over. In fact, with each passing year, as more coins vanish into private collections or remain hidden in unsearched drawers, the value of the remaining specimens continues to climb. So, what exactly makes the 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin worth so much? It's the rare combination of a standard design with unexpected errors, the allure of a possible off-metal strike, the link to a historic reign, and the sheer rarity of finding one in pristine condition. And in today's booming collectible coin market, rarity equals value, which brings us to the grand reveal, the moment we've been building toward. One such coin, perfectly preserved, featuring an ultra-rare error and graded in near-flawless condition by experts, was recently valued at a mind-blowing $21 million. That's right, a coin once worth just 2 pence is now considered one of the most expensive modern coins in the world. Not because it's made of gold, not because it's ancient, but because it tells an extraordinary story. A story of rarity, of overlooked treasure, and of how the smallest objects can hold the greatest worth. If you're watching this, you might be thinking, could I have one of these coins? And the answer is, maybe. That's what makes the world of rare coins so exciting. You never know where the next $21 million discovery might be hiding. So, the next time you find yourself holding a 2001 2 pence coin, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history. Or better yet, a fortune. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time, metal, and mystery. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe to Ultra Rare Coins History for more unbelievable stories hidden in the coins we see every day. Until next time, keep searching, because treasure could be right in your pocket.